All right, greetings, everyone. Again, my name is Nate Newman. I am excited for this evening and all that we have planned, guys. For those of you who have been running with us, you know that we are very excited right now. This is an exciting time. Our business in the midst of Corona is starting to boom in terms of new team members, and bookings are on the way, right? But on tonight, we're going to have a gentleman, guys, and I don't know how many of you know him, but I'm going to give him a proper introduction. This gentleman, number one, is my sponsor, right? He introduced me to the realm of travel, and not just travel. He was my real introduction to understanding this industry that we call network marketing. He's the godfather of my twin boys. He is a two-star director, founding director, stone cast away from that six-figure ring. He's already helped to produce 2 six-figure families already. One of the individuals who helped to establish this team that we call Team New Destiny. He's my brother from another mother. On tonight, he's going to piggyback off of what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about our why. We talked about our goals. We talked about the sacrifices that we need to make. Well, we're about to go into productivity, all out massive activity. But to do that, we need some gas, right? And the gas are the individuals you're going to be contacting, inviting. This gentleman is going to show you how to create your list, how to make it strong, long, and get you pumped up. It's my pleasure to introduce my sponsor, my brother, Mr. J. Michael Stewart. Director Stewart, did you make it to the line, brother?
Man, I made it to the line, my friend. How are you, man? Can you hear me loud and clear, first of all?
I hear you loud and clear, man. I'm as about excited as a kid in the candy store on tonight. This is man, it's been a minute since we rocked together, so I'm almost giddy over here, right? If I could use that word, but I'm excited because I know what you're about to impart to the people. I'm excited because you not only are you successful in this business, but you understand the business. You're one of the few who can have a very intelligent conversation about network marketing, right? The ebbs, the flows, the highs, the lows. You know what it takes to be successful in this company, and there's no fluff. It's all facts, right? And it's a passion that you have to see people succeed. And I can't think of a better person than the person who helped teach me most of what I know, right? We've been in this industry for a long time, rocking together. So I'm just excited about what you're going to do tonight.
Man, listen, the smile on my face is, the introduction was amazing. The edification was brilliant. But the smile on my face, man, is just because it's good to be on camera with you. It's good to be, in the midst, man, of the entire team, especially you. We brothers from another. We even wore the same shirt.
What wasn't planned, promise.
Was not planned, man, just in each other's head. But I got to start by, giving it back to you. And I know everybody on the line knows who you and Kim are, and permission to just speak frankly, right? If I have that on tonight, and I think we talked several times before this, and so I know we're clear with that. But you guys just have amazing leadership. Mr. Newman, Nate New, as I call him, Nizzle. We call each other a bunch of stuff. But that's my guy. Prior to the business, him and Kim. It's bigger than business for us. It's absolutely family. I was thinking to myself prior to getting on here, you're blessed when you have someone attached to you in business that you would, probably see, in your last moments of life, right? And so, that's how deep this goes with us. And so, man, and I'm honored, to be on, on the webinar, on the training tonight. And I just really want you guys to appreciate, and I know you do, right? I know you do appreciate Mr. and Mrs. Newman, what they bring to the table. Because when you step outside of that friendship box, this gentleman, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. And Mr. Newman will tell you that about me. This is the guy. if I was on the draft board, if I was starting a team and I had to get that number one pick, I could pick anybody in the industry right now, it would be this guy. And it's because of what he brings to the table. He's a do-it-first leader. And then when he added that other half, you know, that thing went to a whole nother level. So you guys have amazing leadership. I want to start there, man. Kudos back to you. Congratulations on all the success. And I want you guys to know up front, you know, I live a very nice life right now as far as income-wise, what the industry has been able to do for me. And a big part of that is the leadership that you guys have in front of you with Nate and Kim Newman. So kudos to you guys, to all the leadership that is on here, Michael Pratt, Lisa Hawks, you know, I mean, the up and coming leaders is just absolutely incredible. So, you know, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So we had our Love Fest. Let's get into it on tonight. Guys, we're going to talk about something that's very, very important. And I know, Mr. Newman, it's a little pressure coming behind the lineup that you guys have had, you know, over the past few days, but we're going to do our best to kind of impart some stuff to you guys on tonight. So what I want to talk to you guys about tonight is something very important, guys, and that's making your list and creating a database of contacts. Is probably going to be the most important thing that you're ever going to do for your business. And just to give you a little bit of background that you may not know about me, and Mr. Newman kind of alluded to it, we've been around the industry for about 20 years. In and out, we've had some success. And this is one of the things that throughout the multiple companies that we've been in, the leadership, the folks that we've seen go from zero to multi-millionaires, this is one of the things consistently that they point back to as a reason for their success. And so we're going to talk about it. We're going to do a deep dive. I'm going to ask that you guys give me permission to just talk to you on tonight and really kind of share, you know, how important it is, some how-tos. And I really want to leave some time for you guys if you have questions, because the most important thing on tonight is education and understanding. And if you understand how powerful this topic is and what it'll mean for your business, if you really understand it, if you really get it, and then you make a decision to marry execution with it, it's called game over for your business. You can write your own check. All right. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that on tonight. So I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint and I'm going to go back. I'm going to vacillate between a couple of PowerPoints because I really want to deep dive with you guys on making this list. So let me share my screen really quickly. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let me get it up. No, wrong one. I'm sorry. It should be popping up momentarily. All right, so somebody give me a thumbs up or a text. You guys can see that. I'm pretty sure you can. All right, camera's looking like it's shaking. Did we stabilize, Mr. Newman? You can give me a text, let me know.
Yes, okay, sir, good to go.
All right, appreciate it. So let's talk about making your list, guys. So let me give you an overview of what I'm going to do tonight. We're going to go over the politically correct, right? We're going to go through it, open it up for questions, and then we're going to deep dive to what it really looks like for you to actually get this done, and then what the results can be for your business, okay? What the results can be for your business. So you're going to be pretty surprised at what the results can be, or how amazing the results can be for your business. So the first thing when it comes to getting your list or making a list is that you want to write it down. You got to get your list out of your head and you got to get it onto paper. And again, guys, this is very, very important. And I want you guys to make a decision as we're going into this that you're going to do the work. You're going to do the work. So let me back up just a little bit. Whenever I sit down with someone and I'm getting them started in the business, one of the conversations that I have with every single solitary person that I get started with, or they get started with me, is I let them know before we get into this, that this is going to be the most work you're going to do. The hardest work you're going to do, right, is writing down your list, is actually getting and compiling, starting a database of contacts for you to work from. All right. And so I have that conversation, I inoculate them, and I let them know that this is not the sexy part. This is not going to be fun. This is not what you're going to see in what you got excited about in the presentation. What you saw in the presentation was the beach. What you saw in the presentation was
Excuse me,
income.
Mr. J, Mr. J, excuse
This
me.
is going to
Yeah,
be.
I sent them a
You
text,
can't
Lisa.
see the presentation. You can only see the a document screen.
Say it again. Okay, hold on a second. Slides are not up. All right, 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. We'll see if we can get the slides up. How about now? Can you guys see the slide?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good deal. Appreciate it. No problem. Thank y'all, because I would have been talking and they would not have been up. That would have been a whole bad thing. All right, good deal. So let's keep going. Again, this is the conversation that I'm having before we even get into what to do, how to do it, is really letting them know there's going to be some work. It's going to be some work. And guys, but it's worthwhile. And I want you guys to write that down. It's worthwhile, right? It may take you an hour, 2 hours, may take you a day, may take you a couple of days to get this thing really down and really get it started. But I promise you, once you do it, your confidence changes, your posture changes once you really go through this. All right. And most people, when they get started in the business, they don't understand exactly what business they're in. And I'm sure you guys have heard from Mr. and Mrs. Newman and Mrs. Hawks and Mr. Pratt that we're in the people business, not just the travel business. We're in the people business. I'll prove it to you. Yes, you can book amazing vacations, but who are you going to book it for? Yes, you can create residual income by opening up online travel franchises or outlets, but who's going to open them up? And so it all revolves around people. And so if you don't have a list, you don't have a business. And I want you guys to write that down, underline it 2 or 3 times. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business. And guys, what you're going to understand, if you take a look at just business period, whether it's any type of marketing, any type of sales, and we're in both, make no mistake about that. Guys, it all revolves around a database of contacts. That's the gold mine. It's not necessarily the product. It's not necessarily compensation plan. The gold mine for your career in the industry is going to be your database of contacts. That's going to go with you wherever you go. And we're not saying that you need to go anywhere because Planet Marketing is here to stay. We're a legacy company. But guys, that's your gold mine. That's what you're building. And until you build that, you really don't have a business. You're just a part of a company. All right. And so that's the conversation that I have with a brand new person so that we can become really clear about what we need to do. Now, I want to spend a little bit more time on that, on mindset. I want you guys to really think about what the trade-off is. Think about why you came to Planet Marketing, why you partnered, right? What are you looking for? Are you looking for income? Are you looking for, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, 6 figures? Go ahead and type in the chat, right? And we'll get somebody to check that. What are you looking for? What type of income are you looking for? Now, the other question that I want to ask you, is it reasonable? Is it fair to think that you can create a 6-figure income without ever sitting down and putting pen to pad and actually doing some work, coming up with a strategy, but more importantly, coming up with a database of contacts that you're going to promote and share your business with? Guys, it just doesn't make sense. But so many people, network marketing has a very high turnover rate. And one of the main reasons that turnover rate exists is because people neglect this very important part. Very important part. And we're going to talk a little bit about why people neglect it as well. But let's talk about what you need to do getting started, all right? The first thing you need to do is you need to make a commitment that you're going to get it done. But number one, you got to write it down. And so most folks don't want to write it down. You know what most folks do? Most folks say, you know what? I have a few people in my mind that I'm going to start with. And then some of us, Mr. Newman gave me permission to be frank and honest. You know what some people do? They say, you know what? I wrote it down. They never really wrote it down. And so, guys, it's very important that you get it out of your head and onto paper for a number of different reasons. One, this is step one. And step two, we're going to talk about actually qualifying the list. And this is the conversation that I have with a brand new person. How can I qualify something that's in your head that I can't see? And so, guys, I want you really to take to heart tonight that in order for you to be successful, they're building blocks. And if you skip a step, you're going to be behind and you're going to wonder why the business is not going the way you want it to go. It's because you left out one of the ingredients in the recipe, right? We used to make the analogy, if you want the cake to turn out like it looks on the box, the picture on the box, then you want to make sure you have the eggs, the flour, the milk, everything. If you decide to leave something out, I promise you that it's not going to turn out like the picture on the box. And so it's the exact same thing here, but it starts with writing it down. So you see some bullets here, guys. Start with your cell phone contacts. add your friends from Facebook, use a memory jogger. And I'm going to show or share with you guys something that me and Mr. Newman agree on is one of the most powerful memory joggers that you can ever see or ever have access to. This thing will help you create a database beyond your wildest imagination. Some of you on the line right now are probably thinking, you know what, this sounds good, Mr. Stewart. I heard it all before, but I've been through all of my friends. And I promise you, when we're done tonight, over the next few minutes, you're going to have a whole new world open up to you. And it's going to be exciting, because I'm going to tell you why it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting because what you've been prepared for, you know, these previous trainings that you've been going through, simplifying your introduction, your invitation, when you have a never-ending list that you can marry that to, you have a brand new business. You have a brand new business. And so that's why I'm really excited about sharing this with you. So start with your cell phone contacts, right? Include local and long distance contacts. Guys, you'd be surprised at how many people think local when they think their list. They think of just about the people that they see, you know, on a daily basis, or daily, weekly, monthly basis. What about those people that, you know, are all around the world? And so you want to make sure that you include them. So let me give you a quick hint, and you guys have heard this on the Saturday morning leadership call. If you've been around me for the last year, you've heard it. But one of the great ways to start your list, to create a great database without you physically having to write it down, is you can go to your app store. If you're iPhone or Google, doesn't matter, but download Contacts to Excel or Contacts to PDF. Contacts to Excel, Contacts to PDF. What that does is that eliminates you having to actually physically write down 100, 200, 300 names, all right? And you'll be amazed at how quickly you can get that done. So when someone gets started with me, that's one of the first things I have them do. When we sit down, I'm going to have them open up that cell phone, go download that app, all right? And then we're going to download their contacts right there. And if we're in the vicinity of a printer, if we're in their home, then we're going to go ahead and print that out. Because when you download it, when you download that app, it's going to actually create a document, and it'll email it to yourself. You can email it to yourself, and then you can print that out. So in minutes, in 30 seconds, you go from not having a database or a database that's in your head to a physical database that we can actually qualify. That's step one, all right? That's step one. And you can always add to that, all right? So definitely use that, guys. You should not walk out of a brand new business partner's game plan without them having a list, a printable list, right, of 200, 300, however many people are in their phone. All right, so that's number one. Let's keep going. Don't prejudge anybody or anyone. This is huge, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. Don't overthink it just right. Prejudging is the most common and most costly mistake a brand new person will ever make when attempting to launch their business. This one mistake will cause you to fail before you even really get started. This can be hard because your mind will play tricks on you. Trust your coach. Don't overthink it. Take a deep breath and write it down. Now, guys, I want to explain to you why this is so important. This is when a brand new person, or even a person that's been in the business for a minute, that says, you know what, I want to relaunch my business. Let's take both, the relauncher and the launcher, right? They get to this point where they're going to actually create a list or a new list, and guys, your mind starts to play tricks on you. I promise you, it will. And if you look at your business, if you've been here for a minute, or if you're brand new, this is when people join the Witness Protection Program. Mr. Newman, when I'm sitting down with a brand new business partner and we're going through the game plan interview, it is all bells and whistles, ice cream and cake. It is everything until we get down to writing that list. Here's what happens. When you actually begin to put pen to pad, or you start to think about what you're going to say to these individuals, your mind is so powerful that it's 3 or 4 steps ahead of what you're actually being asked to do right now. And so what your mind does, it says, you know what? The person on this list is negative. The person on this list doesn't have any money. The person on this list did network marketing before. The person on this list, right? And so your mind is going through all of that, when only thing you were asked to do was to write down without prejudging. And so what you have to do is you have to take that deep breath and take one step at a time. And so, guys, type in the chat group if you've been through this. And I promise you, we've all gone through it. You know what? And you're saying, you know what? I'm excited. I can do this. This doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. But I promise you, if you do it right now, tonight, if you do it tonight, if you say, I'm going to make a new list tonight, and you go and you start to write, your mind will immediately ask you to skip a person, immediately ask you to do it, right? I promise you. And so knowing is half the battle. Once you know it, then you got to work around it. Guys, you need to close your eyes, for lack of a better analogy, and write it down. Don't even think about the next step. Just get it down on paper, one step at a time. And guys, I promise you, if you do it otherwise or another way, you'll knock yourself out of the business before you get started, all right? So very, very important. And I want you to take away from this point, not only are you affected that way, but every single solitary person you bring into business is going to be the exact same way. They're going to prejudge. I'll tell you a quick story. Young lady who's goal builder in our organization. She's direct to me. We met at a restaurant, and she's the most coachable person that you ever want to meet, right? And so I said, hey, listen, get your list down. And back then we were actually writing the list out. So she wrote the list out. We sat down. We were at Topolino's here in Maryland, about to have a nice meal, but we were getting into business, right? When she brings her list out, I'll never forget it. She brings her list out. She had an amazing list, 4 or 5 pages of people. But Mr. Newman, trust me when I tell you, I looked across the table and like 70% of the page was crossed out, right? And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? What happened? And she's like, well, the people that are left are the people that will probably actually join the business. Guys, she took away almost her entire list because she prejudged. And so we want to make sure that we understand that not only do we go through it, but your brand new people go through it as well. And guys, some of those very same people on that list are thriving business partners today that were crossed out. All right, so make sure that you don't prejudge. Guys, here's another reason why you want to make sure that you get a list down, a very solid list, a list of at least 100 people. And again, you're going to conquer this by simply downloading the list out of your cell phone. You'll conquer that, right? You'll get that done. But here's the reason why you want to do it. If you're looking to make some income here in Planet Marketing, the compensation plan is amazing, bronze and silver, right? It's absolutely amazing. 3 people, you're bronze, 6 people, you're silver. But at Goal Builder, the entire compensation plan opens up to you. Now, I know folks are at different levels here on the training tonight. So I know we have some folks that are brand new. We have some folks that have been here for a while. So if you're brand new and you really want to tap into the income potential that Planet Marketing has, then Goal Builder is where you want to be. All right. That's 9 people. All right. Can you guys see that PowerPoint?
What we see right now, Director Stewart, is top 100.
Top 100. Great. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, good. We're good. I just got a text. Okay. Appreciate it. All right. So top 100. So 9 people, right? Goal Builder is what you're going for. Goal Builder, right? You want to unlock the matrix. And I'm sure if you talk to Mr. Newman and Mrs. Newman, they're going to say, listen, we want everybody on the team to be Goal Builder and above, because you're going to open up that entire matrix. You get to tap into the matches, everything at Goal Builder, right? And so when you create that list of 100 people, you can almost guarantee, if you go through it, if you're coachable, that you're going to hit Goal Builder. Here's why. Mr. Newman can attest to this. Guys, the business, our industry is based on numbers. And what the statistics and the numbers show is that a brand new person, a person with limited skill, or a person with even good skill, great skill, they're going to, on average, sponsor about 1 out of every 10 people that they engage. 1 out of 10. All right. And so if you're looking to bring 9 people into your business, if you create a list of 100 people, then guess what? If you go through that 100 name list, if you're coachable, guys, guess what? You've almost guaranteed yourself Goal Builder. Now, does it happen 1,000% of the time? Absolutely not. But the average person is going to hit it every single time. And so, guys, I want you to understand that it's very important that you give yourself an opportunity to go gold. Most people that get sponsored or that start the business say, you know what, I want to go Goal Builder. I want to make, $500 a month. I want to make $1,000 a month. They create a list of 20 people. guys, the averages, the numbers, right? It's not going to allow you to do it. And so when you really understand that, it's going to be important that you not only do it, but you're helping your new people, the people that you're bringing into your organization, understand, give them a chance to hit Go Builder. If they don't have a list of 100, they don't have a shot at going Go Builder. And guys, these are the numbers, and it's tried, tested, and true. All right. And you can't beat the numbers, but the numbers can't beat you. You just got to know it and you got to go through it. All right. So creating that list of 100 is very important. And again, you knock that out when you just download that cell phone list. If you're over the age of 18, I promise you, you have over 100 people in your cell phone contacts. All right. So make sure you get that list, and that's going to guarantee that you have a great opportunity to go Go Builder. Okay. And we'll revisit that in just a minute. So qualifying your list. This is something that I'm going through with every single person that I sit down with. Now that we have your list on paper, we have it down, we have at least 100 people, right? And the bigger the list, the better. Write that down. The more contacts you have, the better, all right? But once we have it down on paper, the next thing we want to do is qualify it. We want to organize it. We want to talk to the most influential people on your list. And here's why, guys. The shortcut, the secret to really building a huge business quickly is talking to people who bring people. And I want you to write that down. People who bring people. Now, I don't want you to confuse qualifying your list with prejudging people. That's not what we're doing. Guys, we're going to take a systematic approach to your list. We're going to organize it. We're going to find out. We're going to do our best guess, right? We're going to do some guesswork with the information that we have. We're going to compile it. And then we're going to say, hey, listen, these are the people more often than not that'll take a serious look at your business. Now, here's why it's really, really important to qualify. And I just want to share this. This is from my heart to yours. When I sit down with a brand new person, I let them know that this is a challenge in business. It can be an emotional roller coaster when you get started, right? You're going to get some no's. You're going to get some negativity. You're going to get all of that. And my job as a coach, as a leader, as your mentor, as your sponsor, is to lead you and help navigate you through these waters. And so when you create this list, us doing this work together, qualifying it, I'm going to help you go around some bumps and bruises, right? But if you don't do it, if you just go off half-cocked, then you're going to go to the school of hard knocks, and I promise you, you don't graduate, right? And so, guys, listen, this is one of the things that you're going to do to help not only build their confidence, but to help protect them in the process by helping put them in front of people who more often than not are going to understand what it is that they're trying to show them, all right? And so 2 ways that we qualify. One is we use the 1, 2, 3 method. And I love this method. This is something that I use almost religiously because it helps really break down your list or organize your list really, really quickly. So let's say you have a list of 100 names, all right? And you want to divide it up and you want to very quickly look at who potentially could be a person of influence on your list. So the way we break it up is we put a 1 beside the people that look up to you. Now, what does that mean? That means that a person may call you for advice. They may call you when they need a loan. They may, right, just look up to you. You may be their coach. You may be their pastor. You may be something or a person of influence to them. So people that look up to you. Number 2, we're going to put that beside your peers, the people that you're on the same playing field with. You guys work at the same job. You're kind of, at the same level when it comes to success, when it comes to income. You live in the same neighborhood. These are your peers. And then number 3 is going to go beside the people that you look up to. Who are the people that influence you? Could it be a pastor, a coach, a teacher, right? A principal, right? Who are the people that you look up to? So you're going to put a 3 beside those people. So very quickly, that list of 100 people, now it's shaping up, right? It's shaping up now. So now we know who the 1s are, who the 2s are, and the 3s are. And it's very important. And we're going to revisit that. Guys, the 3s, I promise you, are going to be gold for you. That's going to be where you want to start when you start contacting and inviting the individuals to your to take a look at your business. The second way, if you want to get more detailed with your list, and the more detailed, the better. Write that down. And again, I want to call back to your memory what I said when we started, all right? This is when people are looking at you and they're like, oh my God, I have to do all of this, right? I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real with you tonight, because when you get out there and the bullets start flying and it's live action, I want you to know what it's really like. Right? I don't want to tell you, oh, just tell them to do it. They're going to do it. It's going to be great. No, it's not how it works. You're going to have to sit. You're going to have to call. You're going to have to check in. Hey, are you okay? You're going to have to check that temperature, right? Are you checking out? You good? All right, look, let's go through it, right? Let's make sure that it happens. So number 2, you're going to identify with the champs. You've seen this before, some of you, if you've been around for a minute. Children, homeowner, age, married, person of influence, or successful. You can put a CHAMPS beside anybody who has or meets any one of those criteria. All right. And so you may have some people with the entire acronym. They may have champs, right? Their children, their homeowner, their age, married, person of influence, successful. They may have it all. All right. And then you may have some that just have a few. It's okay. But we're going to start with the ones that have the most. So what do these qualifiers really mean? When you talk about children, homeowner, age 18 or older, married, if you stop right there, we're talking about stability, guys. That's what we're talking about. We're looking for folks who bring some type of stability, at least from what we're looking at. It's our best guess to your business, all right? And to your opportunity to present to them. Stable, that's what we're looking for, all right? Homeowner, I love that one, because if a person owns a home, and this is just real talk, more often than not, they may be, or more than likely, they're able to financially put up the investment to start in your business, all right? So remember that. Homeowner, very important. Person of influence and successful. I love these, again, because of what we talked about earlier. Guys, you want to start with people who can bring people. And I'm going to share a story with you when we wrap up that will literally blow you away when it comes to talking to people of influence. So let me give you an example of what this looks like. You have that list. You've gone through the 1, 2, 3. You say, you know what? I want to qualify it even further. I want to find out who the champs are. What you do is you start with the 3s. Start with the 3s and you do champs, right? Boom, boom, boom. You know what happens when folks look at the list of 100, 200, 300 people? Again, it's one of those checkout moments. They say, you know what? I'm never going to be able to qualify. Break it down chunk by chunk. Start with the 3s. And guess what, guys? If you need to do the 3s and you need to stop, rest, come back and do the 2s tomorrow, that's fine. Doing the work. You're building potentially a multi-million-dollar business. Take your time and get it done. Take your time and get it done. Put the work in, and the work won't forget you. All right? And so we talked a little bit about qualifying it. Guys, the next thing you want to do, and I'm sure Mr. Newman talks about this, and Mrs. Newman as well, is identify your top 25. All right? And so here's how you're going to do that. Starting with the 3s and the champs on your qualified list, select your 25 top prospects and provide the following information for each one. Now, I love this. And again, when I'm talking to someone and I'm taking them through this process, I'm reminding them, I'm patting them on the shoulder, right? This is going to be, hey, I know it's a lot of writing, right? But listen, guys, when you create this database, I'm telling you, your posture is going to change. You'll see your business start to evolve and build right in front of your face. I promise you, if you go through this, you'll go from anxiety and just totally not knowing how you're going to get it done to you'll start to see that, wait a minute, it's a strategy. I have a real business, right? And it's a way that this is done. And so what you want to write down for every single person on your top 25, these are going to be your 3s and your champs, all right? Start at your 3s. They have the most of that acronym, champs. And you just go down that list. Whoever's a 3 and has the most, go to 25. If you don't have enough 3s, go to the 2s. If you don't have enough 2s, go to the 1s. Doesn't matter. But just go down and get those top 25. Don't think about it. Just write it down. Once you get them down, you want to write down the relationship, the location, where they are, 3 words to describe that person and why the business would benefit them. And we'll share with you a document a little bit later on. I'm sure Ms. Newman probably has already shared it with you guys, but there are actually some printable sheets that you can print out. You don't have to create it. You can write this information in. But I promise you, when you do it, it will change your life. It will absolutely change your life. Really excited about this. And guys, what this is going to do is it's going to give the person that's helping you build the business, the person that you're going to put them on a 3-way call with, it's giving them all the ammunition in the world. What you're doing is creating a bio for every single one of these top 25 prospects. This is huge. So I want you to think about what we've talked about so far. We took a list right? 2, 3, 4, 500 people. We whittled it down. All right. We organized it a little bit, but we've gotten it down to the top 25. Now it's going to be some work. But again, when we get to why it's so important to talk to the most influential people and what it can mean for your business, you'll understand why the work is so important. So get that done. A relationship, location, 3 words that describe a person. And again, I'm going through this like I'm going through with a new person. The relationship, what does that mean? Brother, sister, uncle, best friend. That's what that means. Location, where are they on the planet? 3 words that describe them. People will hesitate here. Don't hesitate, right? 3 words. If the person is funny, outgoing, they're the life of the party, write that down. If that's the first 3 words that come to your mind, don't make it too difficult. Don't, and here's the other thing. Don't try to create something that's not there. Your mind will do that, right? It'll be your cousin and you'll try to make him no, your cousin is your cousin. That's who it is, right? They play video games all day. Just write it down, whatever that is, right? They may not be your top 25, but you guys get my point. Whatever it is, write that down, because this is going to be something that your sponsor, your success coach, your mentor, they're going to need accurate information when they contact that person. And we'll talk about that. And then the last thing, this is the most important thing. This is the most important thing. And I'm going to tell you, and this is going to change your business for the rest of your life on tonight. I promise you. The most important thing that you're going to write down for every single person on your list, on this top 25, is why the business would benefit them. Why the business would benefit them. And not to get ahead of myself, but I just got to go from my heart right here. And I got to tell you guys, one of the issues that folks have, that the mental block that they have when it comes to picking up the phone and actually calling someone. One of the blocks that people have when it comes to writing a person's name down on a piece of paper and filling out information about them with the thought that they're going to contact them about the business. One of the blocks, and this is a huge hurdle, is that you don't want to sell anyone anything. You don't want to call as if you're going to get them into something. You don't want to be that person in the mall that, you know, is at the kiosk when people are walking down the mall, and you've seen the people at the kiosk, they got the curling iron or whatever they have, and you're looking the other way so that you don't see them, so that they don't run up on you. You don't want to be that person. And so it's a mental block that will stop you before you get started, right? That's what that block is. And so this point, this bullet changes that. It changes that, because now you're forced to think about not why they benefit you, but why the business benefits them. And when you go into building your business with that mentality, it's a brand new ball game. You take 100 pounds off the phone when you need to lift it up to make the call. Because now I'm not calling to bug you. Now I'm not calling to harass you. Now I'm not calling to pitch you. Now I'm calling to help you. Very, very important. Very important. Will change your business. Will change your business. And I want you guys to start going through this with your brand new people, guys, and explain to them, hey, let's write them down. But I don't let anybody create a list, and they can leave off the 3 words. They can leave off the location, but you will not leave off why the business will benefit them. Because if it won't benefit them, why are we calling them? You guys getting this? This is important, guys. So make sure this is huge. So it'll change your mindset about who you're calling, why you're calling them, and your business will start to change right in front of you. All right. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Meet with your success coach. That's your game plan interview. Now, I'm sure you guys are having game plan interviews, man. The growth is absolutely amazing. This is something that we just believe in. We've always believed in, is setting up that time where we work together and get you started, figuring out what you want in the business and how we're going to get you launched. And Mr. and Mrs. Newman, the best in the game at this. So at your game plan interview, your success coach is going to help you schedule appointments to expose those top 25. Me and Mr. Newman had a conversation about this earlier today, and says, you know what, I'm getting in the trenches. I'm getting down and dirty with every single person that comes in. that are physically possible for me to do to help them go through this process. And so your success coach is going to help you. Don't try to do this by yourself. Because again, it's one of those checkout moments, right? It's one of those witness protection moments when you say, I got it down. Every single step of this, you're going to feel some kind of way. And if you don't, you're a machine. And that's a good thing. And there are some machines in the business. But every step, that stomach, those knots will come back. That's when you need your coach. That's when you need your coach saying, look, I got the list down. Okay, great. All right, so here we go. We're going to schedule some appointments with those top 25s. All right, so they're going to schedule some webinars for you guys, whatever you guys have in place. They'll get you to the proper way, the proper tool to show them the information. All right, and they're going to help you understand how to properly contact and invite your prospects to these events. Guys, I want to stress this for a second. Doing this with your coach, and again, this is something that, this is the conversation that I have with anyone that I sponsor. Again, my job is to protect you in your relationships. And I want you to write that down. My job is to protect you in your relationships. What I say, if I'm helping Mr. Newman to go through his list, I want to say, Nate, hey, listen, we got the list down and everything. Listen, we're going to contact these individuals, and I'm going to reassure Nate again, and we're going to do it in a professional way. And Nate, when we do it right, they'll thank us for the call versus joining the witness protection program and blocking our number. All right. When we do it respectfully, right? When we're not too pushy. And guys, it all goes back to, we've already did some research, created a bio. And so now I'm calling these prospects with their best interest in mind versus my best interest. So if I picked up that phone with a prospect that I have all the information that Mr. Newman wrote down about Mr. Michael Pratt, and he said, you know what, Michael Pratt is outgoing, he's driven, he's business oriented, and the business will benefit him because he's looking to retire and create another source of income where he doesn't have to go back to work again. And so when I make that phone call with Mr. Newman, and Mr. Newman puts me on the phone with this gentleman, with Mr. Mike Pratt, then I have that information to say, hey, listen, Mr. Pratt, listen, I'm so glad that you were able to make the call. Mr. Newman put the call together. And listen, I really couldn't wait to talk to you. He's told me so much about you. He told me that you were driven, business oriented, that you were focused, and that you were looking for a way to create some additional income so that you wouldn't have to go back to work after retirement. And when he told me about you, I begged him to call you because I know what we have, it can absolutely help. And so, guys, it's a whole different conversation when your success coach is there to help you properly contact and invite the prospects. Here's what I know and what I can guarantee. When that phone call is done, Mr. Mike Pratt will hang up the phone and he won't say, man, I can't believe Nate just called me and tried to get me into a business. Well, he'll hang up the phone and says, you know what? Man, that's my guy. He just looked out for me, right? He thought about me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Total different ball game. Total different ball game. So what I want you guys to take away from what we just went over is a mental challenge. Walk through it with yourself, walk through it with your people, walk through it with your coach. Get it done. Commit to doing the work. Commit to doing the work. Guys, trying to withdraw something where you haven't made an investment is called robbery. And that's how what so many people do with the business is they want the income without doing the work. And if you look back at your business right now, and if it's not where you want it to be, I promise you, one of the reasons is that we didn't do the work. We didn't create a database of contacts. We didn't qualify those contacts. We didn't figure out what was in it for them. And because we didn't do it, we didn't do that, we hesitated, we paused, and eventually we gave up. And there's a such thing called is a nonverbal checkout. And again, I don't want to go too far left, but guys, how many of us have ever had that nonverbal checkout where we're saying, yes, I'm in all the way, right? Project 10,000, but the whole time we're just like, mentally we're checked out. So verbally we're saying something else, but mentally and you don't want to be that way, guys. So look back at your business. If you've been here for a minute, go back and do the work. And I'm going to show you some things right now is if you're saying, you know what, I created a list, I went through it, I contacted some people over the next 10 minutes or so. How much time I got, Mr. Newman? Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm just out of time.
No,
so
you're good, Mr. Stewart.
All right. So I'm going to take about 7-8 minutes. if you guys will allow me to, and I'm going to show you guys something that I just recently did myself. And I would never share with you guys something that I don't do. And this is something I did myself, in the world, the floodgates opened back up when it came to creating a new list of contacts, all right? So write it down, don't prejudge, build a list of 100, qualify your list, identify your top 25, meet with your success coach, and launch your business, all right? Launch your business. All right, so you want to screenshot that, just take those down. And guys, listen, again, this is the work. This is the work, but it's the most, man, this is going to get you the most results, I promise you, when it comes to building your business, going back and doing this work, all right, if you haven't done so already. So real quick, I'm going to stop this share, and I'm going to bring up, is this good stuff so far? Let me check the chat. If y'all like, Mr. Stewart, be quiet. We don't feel like hearing this. Let me see what you guys are saying. All right, okay, good deal. I just had to check, right? Just had to check. Mr. Newman, you will send me a text if they say get off, right? All right, good deal. All right, let me get this other screen up really quickly, guys. I want to share something with you too. I told you I was going to give y'all the meat, so I'm going to give y'all the meat. I'm going to give y'all everything. I ain't going to cheat you, all right? So here we go. I want to share this with you. This is just a little bonus. I hope Mr. Newman doesn't mind me sharing. Your top 25. When a person gets started in the business, and this is what I do, so I'm not going to not give you everything. What I do when I have a person create their top 25, what I want to do, what I understand about the business is that success loves speed, right? We're going to get through that top 25, and we'll get through the next 25 and the next 25. But what I want to do really, really quickly out of that top 25 is I want to get down even further to 5 people that we can contact immediately. Who we're going to contact immediately. And these are your go-getters. And remind me, I'm going to tell you a story at the end of this that happened today that will blow you. You're not going to be able to sleep tonight, right? You're going to be wanting to call people tonight. And when Mr. Newman shared with me, the simple invitation that you guys have, it's crazy. Listen, so here's how you take that top 25 and you will it down to your top 5. You want to ask 5 questions with your brand new person. I'm on the phone with Nate, or we're face-to-face, or we're doing a Zoom. I'm saying, Nate, okay, listen. You've got your, and you know it's Mr. Newman in the business, but for this example, it's Nate, right? So it's Nate. I say, Nate, listen. Out of this top 25, if you own $1 billion company, who would be your CEO? And you have to give me one name. And here's what will happen, and I'll share with you guys as we go through. What will happen is folks will try to give you the same name for all 5 of these questions. Can't let them do it. You got to make them think a little bit, right? And I'm going to show you, I promise you, take some time, right? You're like, oh my God, this is so, but I promise you, when you do it, you're going to have the top people on your list. So if you own $1 billion company, who would be the CEO? Write that information down. Who would be the CFO? If they don't know what that is, that's the Chief Financial Officer. Now you could change this. This could be president, vice president, whatever fits you, right? So who would be your CFO? Who would be your vice president? And what I say to people, I say, you know what? The CEO would be somebody that if you were gone, they could run your company. The CFO would be somebody you trust. Who is somebody you trust, Nate? Somebody you would trust with your money. Who is that? All right, and they're going to write that down. The next thing is that I want to say, if you were stranded in the middle of the night and can only make one phone call for someone to rescue you physically and financially, meaning you needed some money and they had to come get you out of jail, for lack of a better scenario, right? Nate would never be in jail, but you get the point. Who would that be? Who would that one phone call be to? And I keep it real. This is your ride or die. Out of this top 25, which one of these top 25 is your ride or die, right? And then the next one, if you won the lottery and you had to share it with one person, who would that be? Can y'all tell I'm getting excited? Because when I go through this, I know that I'm getting to the top people on their list. And we may have started with, I don't know nobody. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody. But when we're done, I have the holy grail of list, right? So here you go. This one, if you won the lottery and you had to share it with one person, who would that person be? The reason I asked that question is because who do you care about? Who do who, if you did win the lottery and you had to share it, that would be somebody that you love, that you wouldn't let miss it, right? That you want to take care of. So who is that person out of this top 25, right? And then the last one, if you could only have one person off your list, just one person off your list, if you had to bet the farm that you were going to build an empire, that you could build an empire with this one, you only get one shot. And if they fail, game over. You don't get a chance at your different life. And this is what I go through. Who would that person be? And I see the people tense up and they start, now their mind is really, it's fun, right? Because they're thinking about it. They're like, oh my God, who would that person be, right? If I had one person, that's going to be the number one person on their list. Now, here's what will happen when you go through this process. They're going to change. It's going to be like musical chairs. Okay, well, look, I need to change. Right? They'll change it around. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, we want to know who is that top person that we need to contact. And I want to show you, when we're done, why this is so powerful and why this will fast forward you. This is like a time machine. I promise you. This will propel you 6 months to a year ahead of the person who doesn't do the same thing. Because what they'll do is they'll go after the person that needs the business. And I'm sure you guys have trained on this. And guys, that's a whole nother training, but that's the long road. That is the long road. We're going to give everybody the opportunity, but it matters. It matters where you start, right? It matters where you start. Okay. So we're going to get that down. We're going to get that top 5. All right. What you're going to do with that top 5 is you're going to follow instructions. Mr. and Mrs. Newman, I'm sure, have given you, okay, listen, this is what we do. We get them on a Zoom. We get them on a webinar. We get them. That's that top 5. And how fast are you getting those top 5 in front of the information? Immediately getting them in front of the information, right? And guys, again, these are your top 5. You're going to do this with your success coach. Don't go off and try to do this by yourself. You have amazing leadership. Say, hey, listen, I promise you, if you can see Mr. Newman's face right now, I can't even see it, but I know if you called him or Mrs. Newman or Mr. Pratt or Director Hawks, and you said, listen, I got my top 5, they will be in their car, despite quarantine, on the way to your house to help you with this top 5, right? Because they know how important it is when you do this work. They know that this could just be absolutely incredible for you and your business, all right? So that's just a little nugget that I wanted to share with you guys. Top 5, man, get them in front of the information, and you guys will be off to the races. Y'all got 5 more minutes? I'm going to share a little bit more with you guys when it comes to getting this list done. Mrs. Newman, you okay? No, we're done?
Hey, look, I'm great. I'm always respectful of my team.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So let me ask the question. Can and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but can we get 10 more minutes, guys? Let us know in the chat if that's okay, right? I see a lot of yeses. Stay on as long as you. Yes.
Somebody just texted me and told me hang up. No, I'm just
all right, take it away, brother.
Talking about, man. So look, all I want to share with you guys real quick is I'll just point you to the resource, and Mr. Newman has access to it. I mean, this guy, this resource is amazing. So I'll just point you to it really quickly. And what it is, guys, it's an ultimate memory jogger. Can you see that, Mr. Newman? Can you guys see that on the screen?
Yes, sir. You good?
All right. So it's ultimate memory jogger, guys. You guys have access to this, but it's amazing. Mr. Eric Worre, Go Pro. That we read that book. We talk about that. Mr. Newman and I, the very first time we ever went to a network marketing event, the very first person that I can remember, Mr. Newman, stepping on stage was Eric Worre. And it was just absolutely incredible. And we've kind of been following ever since. But this memory jogger is amazing, guys. What it does is it really helps you take what we just talked about to a whole nother level. This here, honestly, in my opinion, and I don't want to make any claims, but I promise you, this here, doing this, will help you create a 6-figure income. And I would say that in front of anybody. I honestly believe it. I just went through the process myself, and I am, more excited now, 20 years in, than I've ever been. And so what this does is this goes through not only creating the list, it's an amazing memory jogger, but it also helps you categorize it even further. Who you want to approach directly, indirectly, things of that nature. And I'm sure you guys have gone through some of this, but it's an amazing resource. It's all in one place. And it's just incredible. And what I love about this, and I'll say this and I'll get out of your way. Mr. Worre the reason why I think it's such a valuable resource is that this gentleman has spent the last 20 years, you know, just really collecting information, what works, what doesn't work, streamlining things when it comes to the industry. And he put this together as a finished product to really help you create the list. So it's just an amazing tool. And again, Mr. and Mrs. Newman have access to it. Your directors, I'm sure, have access to it. Those sheets that I was talking about, right here, right? You can print them out, a master candidate list. You can put that information down and you can always refer back to it. If you have social media contacts, you can go through your social media contacts and put them down here, right? It's absolutely incredible. There's some scripts and things in the back of this as well. But listen, you guys don't need any scripts. I promise you. Mr. Newman shared with me that simple invitation changed my life. All right. So, but there are some resources in the back of this as well. All right. So it's a downloadable PDF. You guys, have access to it. If Mr. Newman gives you the thumbs up, you can access it, and it can be a great resource for you. So 2 quick stories, and I'm gone, Mr. Newman, and we'll be done hopefully before 10 o'clock. But my 2 quick stories. One, in going through that process, I just want to make this real for you. I really felt like, my list had kind of been, used, right? We went through a lot of people over the years that we've been in the business. But what going through that memory jogger helped me do was, one, it helped me go through social media. And just a quick tip, if you guys think, social media is too broad or you can't narrow it down, or how can I create a list off social media? Am I going to really write down all 5,000 friends? Well, you don't have to. You can write down the folks that you know, right? But more importantly, you can write down folks that you have something in common with. And I'll share something that happened with me. I went through this process, and one of the things was high school, right? And so what I did, I went to Oxon Hill High School right here in Maryland, the #1 high school. I can't even get that out. That's not true. But it was great when I was there, right? Here's the deal. I went through the process, and what I was doing is I saw a couple of alumni in my class, and I wrote them down. But what I realized is that when I clicked on Oxon Hill High School itself, every single alumni that's ever been there, that's ever put that on their Facebook page, it created a whole new database of alumni for Oxon Hill. And I know some of y'all like, Jay, everybody knows that. I didn't realize it. And so what I did is I crafted a very short intro that I could use on Facebook in instant message, right? Hey, look, what's up, alumni? Look, always trying to connect with alum, right? I see you. I had alumni in France. I had alumni in Mexico. I had alumni in Canada. I had alumni right all over the place. So not just from my grade, but the thousands and thousands of people that went to that school, we have something immediately in common with. And I have a whole list of folks that just went to Oxon Hill where I can have a direct conversation, a lead-in, an easy lead-in on social media. So my list, where it went from 0 to I can't even write them all, right? And so it's just very exciting where I have an amazing lead-in. We have something in common, and we all know what the end goal is: to build rapport, expose, and close, right? So just a nugget. That's another tip in that social media. I mean, in that memory jogger. All right, so go through it. The last thing I want to share with you guys, this quick story happened today, and it speaks to what we were talking about tonight: doing the work, shaking your way through it, getting on the other side of fear. And I want you guys to write this down as we get out of here. What's on the other side of fear? I want you guys to write that down. What's on the other side of fear, right? And I promise you the answer is everything that you ever wanted, everything that you could imagine, everything that you ever hoped for is right on the other side of fear. I have a gentleman that's direct to me that just signed up about 2 months ago. Hasn't done a lot in the business, kind of taking his time, very coachable, but a little nervous, not a lot of, no experience whatsoever in the industry. And we went through this process. The very first thing we did was we went through this same process that I just went through with you guys. And as a result, we came up with his top 5 prospects, right? We went through it. And this is my guy, somebody that I really love, but when I tell you it was painstaking, but we got it done. And so he had this top 5 list, and he was making calls today. And I want to keep it real with you guys. Some folks, may disengage for a minute. It may not be to tomorrow when it's going to happen, but you want to do the work, and the work won't forget you. He's making calls today. And he called me, And he said, Jay, he texted me actually, and he says, I'm excited and I'm stuck at the same time. I reached out to a guy with the indirect approach saying, hey, you know what? I really respect you and what you've been able to do in business. One of the smartest guys I know. I've recently started a project and I would really like for you to take a look at it. Reached out to this guy and he texted me and let me know that the guy responded, hey, look, I'm in a meeting, but let's talk at 4:00. Remember I said the nerves hit every single time? So even though he had a successful peak interest, if you will, call or text, the nerves hit, right? The nerves hit. And so I'm like, listen, calm down, it's cool. I said, when he calls you, just get me on the phone, right? Get me on the phone. Because I could tell, telling him to say anything or do anything, it wasn't going to happen. He was just too nervous. And so I said, just get me on the phone when you get him on. But what he did, because he had written the information down, I knew who the guy was from paper, right? And what he was about. True story. He gets the guy on the phone. The guy gets on the phone. His name is George. And we're talking. And I explained to George what it is that we're doing, why we're excited, about the Veil launching this business or what have you. And George, says, you know what, that's amazing. And, this is what I do. George is a multi-millionaire. He owns a staffing firm with thousands of people that he's responsible for in a few different countries. And so, true story. I'm listening and I'm like, oh my God, who is this on the line? But when I tell you my guy shot up, he went through his top 5 and he shot up. Watch this. George says, you know what? He goes through the process. He said, I think my wife is doing something like this. How many of you guys have ever heard that before, right? I think my family member is doing something like this. So, he texts his wife right there. And I said, oh my God, if she calls back and says, I'm in Planet Marketing, we're both going to have a massive coronary, right? She didn't. She called back and she said, yeah, I was in travel years ago, not doing it anymore, right? Not saying she wouldn't do it, but she just wasn't involved. All right, I'm trying to speed up. So long story short, George says, you know what? I like what I'm hearing, but honestly, and I don't like to say what I can't do. I love to say what I can do. He says, what I can't do is right now, because we're expanding into a couple of different countries, right? That I cannot focus on the business right now. I just can't, right? But what I will do is I'll give you access to every single one of my employees because I believe that much in the gentleman that made the phone call. Not only did he say it, he acted on it. He says, listen, we can put together a Zoom webinar for every single employee. We'll do it in waves. We can start next Saturday coming up because I want to have ample time to promote it and not only send them the virtual invitation, but I'll have printed invitations for every single person in my company, and I'll stamp it, I'll co-sign it, and we'll make sure that we give every single one of them an opportunity to partner with you. More to the story. When we got off the phone, we did a plan to review, and my guy says, Jay, the phone call is supposed to happen at 4:00. I looked at my watch, it was about 5:30. He said, I could not pick up the phone for an hour because I was so scared. I was so scared to pick up the phone and I couldn't do it for an hour. It took me an hour to pick up the phone and make the phone call. And I said to him, man, look what was waiting for you on the other side of fear. It's just absolutely incredible. That gentleman went on from that phone call to leave to go to another presentation where his posture was through the roof. Brand new business partner, not that guy, but another guy, because of his posture changing, because he shook through it, because he did the work. The work didn't forget him. He went on the other side of fear and he found his gold mine. So that's it. That's what I have for you guys on tonight. I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you guys for allowing me to ramble a little bit. I hope that you heard it from my heart to yours. This is something that you can take and go to the next level in your business. I look forward to seeing every single one of you, not at the top, but over the top. Love you guys with all my heart. Mr. Newman, back to you, sir.
Oh my goodness. Can we just very quickly in the chat show our gratitude for Mr. Stewart pouring into us tonight? How many people received the aha moment? Better yet, how many people are, whether it's the first time or you're just rejuvenated, but you're pumped up and excited about revisiting your list or creating your list, right? Some simple, practical steps to take. And he said something that was key. He said, don't negate the step. Forget how you, just follow the steps. And here's the thing about steps. Just put one foot in front of the other until you reach your destination. So on behalf of this team, this squad, and we also have Yolanda Bennett, some of her team are on as well tonight. We thank you, Mr. Stewart, because this is the perfect segue to us taking action with the new, and we haven't officially trained on it yet, right? But we trained on it a little bit last night, but we're going to go more in depth about that simple invitation, guys. And this is going to be married to what you got tonight. You're going to take that short bio, those 3 things we're going to learn about those people. And when you call individuals, a short invitation that, guess what? Your directors are going to do for you. And then once we've done that a number of times and you're comfortable, you can take over. But I promise you, we're going to see your numbers go through the roof. So I'm flat out excited. What time is it? What time do we have?
I think we got 10:10.
10:10.
10:08.
So I don't want to hold you. I want to respect everybody's time. As you see, all the thank yous are coming in. Final thoughts, final words, Mr. J. Stu?
Man, follow your leadership. You guys have amazing leadership. Do it first leaders, not just Mr. Newman, Mrs. Newman, but do it first leaders all across the board, including Yolanda Bennett. And just, go to the next level, guys. Don't let your mind stop you from getting to where you need to be. And you guys can do it one step in front of the other. Like you said, Mr. Newman, you guys got this. Man, do it together, stay together, work together, get this thing done. You'll knock it out the park. So I believe in you, got faith in you. Can't wait to see you guys win in a major way.
All right. Thank you again. Again, that's my sponsor, y'all. Right.
What
I told y'all he was going to pour into you tonight, right? So with that, guys, as always, we love you and there's nothing that you can do about it but love us back. And Mr. J still wants you to say this with me. We rise together.
We fly
together. Right? So guys, T&D for life. Let's make it a great week on purpose. God bless. Take care. Take charge.